In Bee Swarm, boosting and making honey is basically everything on what the game is about, and every time you do boost yourself, you definitely want to make more than you have before. But which boost in the entire history of Bee Swarm Simulator is actually the biggest boost of all time, and who holds that world record? So today we will be going through every single year of Bee Swarm boosts, as for example, a lot has changed since 2023 Beesmas to now. Wait, Beesmas 2023 doesn't exist, but the entire year of 2023 though, such as some boost methods of some people using the robo challenge to boost and make like 10 quadrillion honey. Yes, that is not a troll, in a single day, just like that. But let's start from the real beginning in 2018, when times were much simpler, with no 35 bee zone, no 30 bee zone, even barely any gear, barely anything really too, because the leaderboards looked like this. Only about 1 billion honey for top 1 in the middle of 2018, but then went up to about 1 trillion towards the end of it. And the boosts back then looked like this, with the game looking completely different, without the honey and backpack at the top, like this over here, I mean like the pollen and stuff, and everything being down there. And if you do notice as well, it was actually a 10x boost and not a 4x, because boosts back then didn't have an icon too, so they just looked like another version of the haste token, or at least I just think it looks like that. And then as well, the best gear you could have was porcelain bag, guards from the Ace shop, so that honey shop over there, the gummy mask and gummy boots. But you also had to go back to Hive, convert, and go back to the field every single time you were full. And since you had a 10x boost, you were going to be full quite fast, as you guys do see, unless you did plant a festive sprout, which basically then they were insanely OP, like even more than right now. The SD Mittens, who done this boost, made 10 billion honey in 10 minutes with a festive bean and the honey day event. Also mentioned that if you do want to spend a lot of Robux, you could make up to 100 billion honey a day easily with it. And she did also run a blue hive, mostly with loads of legendary bees. Anyway, in 2019, the 35 bee zone arrived with the coconut bag and even some mythic bees for the first time, making you actually make a pretty decent amount of honey now. And the game is looking way different to what it was just last year in 2018. People were making around only a couple trillion or so if you were a top player, like maybe 2 or 5 trillion a boost. And remember as well, SSA wasn't even a thing too yet, so that was quite insane without SSA. And sadly, there weren't much crazy boosting videos in 2019, so can't really show the full-on exact amount, but we can kind of picture on what it was. Whereas in 2020 though, there were plenty, and the numbers already were getting pretty crazy, because ALLLLL came out of nowhere and was making insane honey on the daily leaderboards, and even showing up on the all-time leaderboard for the first time. As you guys do notice straight away, this is going to be done on mobile, not PC, tablet, or anything, on mobile. So you guys can't really have any excuses anymore. But he does donate a mythic egg and has loads of boost there, because they don't actually disappear, as Onnit never really made that a thing whenever field dices first came to the game. And they did also get nerfed down to only 3x from about 10x, so yeah, that was quite a huge difference, since now we do have 4x. But as you do see there though, there's so much jelly beans and meteor showers, as jelly beans were crazy broken back then, as I'm pretty sure they didn't have a limit on how much it stacked for, making you go up to like 2,000 red pollen or something, if I'm correct. And ALLLLL did also set a couple world records for 2020, being most honey made in a single boost, so 68 trillion in this one that you guys just seen. Most honey in a day being 116 trillion. Most honey per second being 1.5 trillion. And he was also a white hive in that boost. And then 2021 was an interesting year for Bee Swarm, as it changed and introduced so many new features, such as Nectar, 2 new mythic bees, the blue macro meta, Tide Popper, Gummy Baller, Dark Scythe, and so much more. And as I said a second ago too, the blue macro meta was really insane. Like, people were making so much a day just from macroing, like not even being at their PCs, literally a robot playing for them. And for example, they made up to like 300, 200, 100 trillion for anyone that was macroing back then. And normal boosts were really like the same for all hives, like maybe 100 trillion or so for red and for white. But the addition of Gummy Baller in this Beesmas was the real start of the white hive meta, because in 2022 the big numbers started for white. Like, for example, the current top player making 2 quadrillion honey in a single day with honey day. Now of course that isn't just one single boost, but a couple boosts, but that is still so much honey to see even for that time, and it does show the potential and how much it could be. Other than that though, 2022 was quite a boring year year in terms of boosting, since everything was really just macroing. Like, macro was more popular still, but it was boring until we got the Robo Bear Beesmas update with digital beat. As first of all the blue hives were none, by just a bit though, and the pro red hives were making about up to 300 something trillion normally, and with festive beans on honey day you had 1.2 quadrillion boosts. But then with white hive there were like 1.1 quadrillion boosts without festive beans, so still pretty crazy. And for the Robo Bear boost I was talking about too, and also we are in 2023 actually right now, since I started mentioning the pro red hive is making 300 trillion. But yeah, so for the Robo Bear boost though, name over here made 9.4 quadrillion honey with it, and 90 trillion pollen a second. Yes, 90 trillion. And although on it did take it away from the honey all-time leaderboard, like why I for example have 400 trillion ahead here, because I got that 400 trillion from Robo Bear before, but you still did get to keep that honey though inside of here, so you really just got pro levels and treats and everything. What you do see happening here though is literally just like a normal red boost, but because the Robo challenge has all the upgrades with, like, for example 4x red pollen, white pollen, homepage for more field boosts and loads like that, basically making him a crazy amount. And yeah, obviously this did get patched if you are trying to do this, so like don't. And for the 2024 boosts now though, which of course they are by a white hive, since that currently is the best, and the amount Mikey has made, because yes it was him the top one all-time player, but it is 6.7 quadrillion honey with everything we have right now. So the sticker stack, coconut belt, honey day, festive bean, literally everything. He did also make like 2.7 quadrillion in 1 whole minute, which yeah, that is genuinely insane, more than some people will ever make in their entire life. And just watch it over here. Nah, like, that was actually insane. And to be honest, the year hasn't even still ended too. Plus, the new bags haven't even came out yet, the new gear or anything, apart from the Cocoa Belt, obviously. But just imagine how big the boosts will be then. Like, I'm probably thinking maybe 20 quadrillion or even more. Numbers definitely will be more than we can imagine even. But let me know what your biggest boost is.